What does it take to create a vibrant, thriving life? First, the sad news is that Thoreau was right. Most people are leading quiet lives of desperation, lacking in meaning, fulfillment, and vitality. But we choose more. We choose to create extraordinary lives. And the Art of Vibrant Living show entertains you with inspiration, empowerment, and education to create your life into a masterpiece. It's time. Let's vibe up. Aloha, y'all. Welcome to the show. I am Daniel Aaron, your host. It's the Art of Vibrant Living show, and I got a question for you. Who are you being, and what are you doing to create more freedom, love, and vibrancy in your life? I know one thing. You're here, you're watching this, and that's cool, or listening, and fantastic. Here's my invitation. By the end of this show, which is gonna be phenomenal, make sure you have another response to those questions. Who are you being? What are you doing to increase your life into greater vibrancy? Because that's what we are about here. So let's get into it. My guest today, Rob Cressy, is an AI coach for high-performing leaders, helping them use AI to grow their business and life together. Rob brings heart and humanity to AI. Wait, what? Oh boy, am I excited to talk with him about that. Establishing a new standard for what's possible. He believes in a human-first approach to AI, where you lead with your identity, vision, and values. Because when you create from the heart, you win. We all win. In fact, Rob is driven by a powerful mission, becoming the greatest version of himself while serving as a positive force for good that leads others to what's possible. This purpose is central to how Rob coaches, speaks, and creates. Rob, thank you for being with us.
Super excited to be here.
Right on. Well, I'm chomping at the bit to talk about AI, heart-centered. What? And first, though, how did you get into this? How'd you get here?
Very simply. So I used ChatGPT the first week it was out in beta in November 2022. And within the first minute of using it, I felt like I used the internet for the first time. Immediately, I saw what the next decade of business was going to look like, and I was all in. I could not believe as a master creator already that this was real. So for me, there was no convincing, complete opportunity, all my chips on the table.
Okay, cool. I'm with you. And I was like, what'd you say, November of 2022?
Yeah.
I'm just shocked that it's been that long. I'm with you. I got in right in the beginning, like, ooh, so exciting. Okay, cool. And then in terms of who you are, right, as a coach, as a guy who's leading leaders, how did that happen? Were you always into that? Were you always coaching? How'd you get there?
No, I never set out to do this. But I lived like a coach for more than a decade, and finally started to get hired as a coach to help people be better at business by being better at life. And the seminal shift in all of this is leaving my corporate job over a decade ago to go all in on living my dreams of getting paid to talk about sports for a living. For me, all I wanted to do was create all day, every day. I just dreamed of being on camera or hosting podcasts or writing about sports. So I cut the cord, burned the boats, and went all in on being a full-time entrepreneur and creator. And when that happened, two massive things happened in my life. Number one, that very first morning of that very first day in which I went from corporate America to completely on my own, I woke up, not a single person to tell me what to do, when do I do something, do I go to the gym, what do I eat, anything. And in that moment, I became self-aware. It blows my mind that I could live the first 3 decades of my life without ever hearing the term self-awareness, But it was on the realization that, dude, everything is on you. Every thought, every action, everything. And I was like, let's go. And then quickly I was like, wait a second. I'm at zero. No clients, no revenue, no website, no relationships. I better figure this out. And that's where domino number 2 happened. And I adopted a growth mindset because I audited the success habits of the most successful people in the world. Hey, what were they doing? What were they being every single day? And that's when I decided to make personal growth and development my number 1 priority every single day, every single morning. And that's how I ended up becoming a coach, because entrepreneurship's the greatest personal growth and development program known to man. I never set out to become a coach. I just lived like one for more than a decade.
I love that. Beautiful. Okay. Well, that brings a thought and a question. The thought, I don't think I ever told you this. I don't think I've ever told anybody this really. But when I was a little kid and I finally gave up on my dream of becoming a professional baseball player, I got this early download that I was going to be like Howard Cosell. A lot of people these days don't even know who that is, but he was legendary, right? And then years later, when I did some life review and look back, I was like, did I give up on that dream? I said, oh no, actually, I took a lot of those qualities from that and they have fed into who I am and what I do now. So my question to you though is, 10 years ago, leaving your corporate job, moving into becoming an entrepreneur, right? That's awesome. I love it. And I know so many people, and a lot of our listeners and viewers, in fact, are on that edge. And what would you say about what was like the biggest challenge and the greatest victory with that? I know you've said some already. If we go a bit deeper though, what else would you share?
I'll give the goal that is on the mind of the people who are on that fence. Yeah. And you hear this, I hear this question often. It's like, well, what was that moment like, right? In which you made that jump, right? Because you're sitting there and you've got the thought. And for me, I couldn't stop thinking about it, right? All day, every day, all I wanted to do was create and write sports. So much so that as a high performer, I was working 50% of the time in my actual job and writing sports blogs the other 50% of the time. And I just dreamed of, man, the day where all I could do all day, every day is create. And I said to myself, one thing that I'm going to encourage everybody to ask themselves. And I said, I would regret it for the rest of my life if I didn't give it a shot at making my dreams happen. I had to know. For me, the bigger risk was not taking the risk, right? So often it's like, oh my God, it's such a big leap to do this thing. What people don't realize is the leap isn't the victory. The leap is you're now in the game, right? So the thing of the focus being, oh my God, this is a big thing for me, wasn't big because I was like, I got to know. Then you jump and you're like, oh, now I'm at zero. This is the real game. So my encouragement is, if you're on the fence, ask yourself, would you regret it? For me, I'm not willing to live a life of regret. Take it off the table.
I love that. Yeah. And it's really like sometimes decisions get easy and clear when we just hold those two sides to it, right? And sometimes we can do the end of life look back. Would I regret it if it... Yeah, beautiful. Okay, cool. And you said something else in there, Rob, which I think is kind of obvious to you and I, but might not be obvious to everyone. And I would love for you to go back from the outsider perspective and share, when you talk about creating, what does that mean?
I'm completely in charge of everything that I do every single day, and I bring what's on my heart alive, right? So when I looked at the time at the sports landscape, I knew I belonged. And I said to myself, I am as good or better than everything that I see being created right now. So for all of those who are in the game right now, I'm looking and I'm like, I'm better than this. I just am. I knew I belonged. And because of this, I had to know about it. And there's a quote that I learned from a mentor that changed my life and can change everybody's life. You're in this situation. So I'm at the very beginning, no revenue, no clients, no nothing. And I had this big dream of what I knew was possible. And the mentor said to me, he goes, Rob, if you ever hope to get paid to do what you love, you better be doing it already. And I was like, all right, I want to get paid to talk about sports for a living. How do you do that? And remember, this is 12 years ago at this time. So I should teach myself how to create a podcast, how to be a host, audio and video editing, social media marketing, brand building, apparel, events. Essentially, everything on my dreams was the other side of me learning how to create a media company. Because for so many people, and certainly right now in the era that we're living in with AI and technology and so many tools, it can feel overwhelming. People will give you all of the reasons why. I don't have enough time. I'm overwhelmed. I'll get to it someday. But guess what? None of that was a problem for me, because legitimately I was like, if I don't do this, I'm not in the game. And no one's ever going to hire me unless I am on camera all day, every day. So this became a superpower for me, because the way that I was going to create my dreams was by turning myself into my own client and create all day, every day. So that's how I've gotten in so many reps of thousands of articles, videos, podcasts, speaking from stage. It's because I needed people to see that I could do this so that one day people could actually hire me to do it. Do that for 12 years in a row, and all of a sudden you start to master a few things.
Yeah, beautifully said. I love it. Okay, so that brings another question, something that I hear often, and I'm curious to get your take on it. A lot of people who, in the worlds that I inhabit much of, people with big hearts, big visions, people who have had transformations, they want to do good in the world. And then they say things like, well, I don't know marketing, and I don't know video editing, and maybe I don't even like those things. And sales, oh my God, I don't want to do that, right? And what I just heard you say is you taught yourself all those things, right? And you may not do all those things now, I don't know. But what would you say as to why, or is it, in fact, is it important to actually learn and have that capability yourself?
This is simple. This is growth mindset versus fixed mindset 101. Go and read the book. I believe it's called Mindset by Carol Dweck. It's the book that introduced me to growth mindset. So fixed mindset, I'm stuck and I'm trapped in this position. I cannot get better. Growth mindset, I can always make things better. I can always learn. There's always another way out of this. So for me, if you're going to create your own prison, your own self-limiting beliefs, then you're going to create the results that come from that. I'm somebody who lives from the world of possibility. And part of entrepreneurship is our ability to wear many hats. If you're not built for entrepreneurship, it is what it is. But guess what? I am, and those of us who want to bring our dreams to life, we are going to be. Because the fact of the matter is, if this was easy, everybody would do this. And one of the quotes that I say often is, comfortable is always comfortable. So yeah, it's comfortable to not do the things you don't know how to do. But guess what? That is not a winning skill set, right? I operate with the best in the world. I work with exceptional people who want to be their best, because that's who I am and that's the journey that I am on. So if someone comes to me and says, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this, I want to learn this, I don't want to learn this, it's like, all right, well, what lens are we building from? Because I operate from the world of abracadabra. I create as I speak. So what do you want to create? And if you say, I don't want to do all of those things, it's all good. So tell me about your team that's going to do all of those for you. Well, but Rob, I can't afford a team because I'm not doing the marketing. It's like, oh, so do you see the hole that you dig yourself into? It's so many people in this world, and I'll just say it as it is, love to be being. Right? There's being, we're going to create our identity in our heart and who we are. And there's also the action that we take from the powerful version of ourselves. And this doesn't mean we have all of the answers, but part of business is marketing, sales, customer service, content creation, conversations, and everything in between. It doesn't mean that you need to do everything, but it sure really does help to understand those things, because what game do you want to play? I'm playing the game of being the best version of myself and making my dreams happen. So because of this, I am actively seeking out learning this. And here's how I'll put the button on this: opportunity versus obligation. If you see this journey as an obligation, oh my God, I got to learn this stuff, versus, holy smokes, new world to play in, opportunity. Think about that lens from AI. Boom, you can go anywhere.
Awesome. I love it. Yeah. And I know for me, in my early days of building team, and when I first got assistants to work with me, I had this fantasy that all these things that I don't want to do and I'm not good at, I'll just throw that problem over there and they'll take care of it. And you know how well that worked. Not. So yeah, there's absolutely a value in knowing the stuff, even if you do build a team to outsource it to. Yeah.
So why does that not work? And it's very simple, because there's a term that I love: earned confidence. I show up this way because I've done the work through every single thing that you're seeing, right? I've done every single email. I've done every single call. It doesn't mean that I'm always doing everything, because eventually you graduate to having teams around you to help that. But guess what? I learned something, became very good. So I would say I'm an 8 out of 10 at a lot of things. So for example, learning Photoshop originally, I got good enough to be able to create thumbnails and social media graphics. Then once I started landing 5-figure client campaigns, I hired graphic designers who could grade a 10 out of 10. But I, having used these tools, was informed enough to be able to create the systems and the processes, the strategy, and the direction. So it's very challenging to lead somebody else when you have not done that before, because otherwise you're just taking their word, their vision, their output, and you're just sitting there and being like, well, I don't know if they're doing it right or wrong. Not the way that I'm operating, right? That's why we work with subject matter experts who are the best in the world, to learn from them. We implement, we create the processes, then we go and buy back our time.
Yeah, beautifully said. I learned a distinction many years ago from Tony Robbins between delegation and leveraging. And what delegation often results in for a lot of people is, I don't know how to do this, you fix it, right? Where leverage is really what you were talking about, which is, I own this, I'm responsible for it, I'm going to make sure we get the result. All right, well, maybe that's a good bridge, because you brought up AI a moment ago. So tell us what's going on with AI and the way you see it, especially, of course, this heart component, human first piece.
Yeah, so I'm not romantic about this. It just so happens that when ChatGPT came out back in November 2022, we were gifted the most powerful intelligence in computers ever created in the history of the world. And this is legitimately like an industrial revolution, or here comes the next internet, except the biggest opportunity we will ever have in our entire lives ever. The world will never be the same again because of artificial intelligence. So because of this, we as heart-centered leaders, creators, and coaches have an opportunity to leverage these tools to help us create more positive impact in the world. And for me, I've got the gift of being forward thinking. I see where the world is going, and I am a leader of leaders. So I see this as a tool of amplification, not something that is removing your creativity or your authenticity, because a lot of the people who are failing at this are using it like Google: garbage in, garbage out, gold in, gold out. No, but Rob, it's different. You don't understand where I'm coming from. Listen, I've been using this all day, every day for 2.5 years, coaching CEOs, entrepreneurs, leaders, and their teams on how to leverage this to create everything that you want in your business and in your life faster. This can be completely designed however you best want it to be. You just need to be open to the perspective that there might not be some things that you see or that you understand. And now we get to go back to Growth Mindset 101. And you know what the number one problem that everybody has with AI is? And it's not the problem that they think. So, because I've had so many of these conversations, Rob, I'm overwhelmed. I don't have enough time. I'll get to it later. I'll get to it someday. It doesn't work for me. It sounds like a robot. I don't want to outsource my authenticity. Cool. I got it. But this isn't hard. All people are lacking is a consistent learning habit, right? So we're living, I'm overwhelmed and I don't have enough time to learn AI, except for the fact that this tool is designed to help you create more time. So what I hear is, I don't have enough time to learn the thing that creates me infinitely more time. That is the most powerful thing ever created. So what is the actual problem though? All it is a consistency of a learning habit. Remove AI and make it podcasting or riding a bike or learning a different language. How do you learn something new? 15 minutes at a time. So what people are actually just lacking is a consistency of a learning habit. And they over dramatize what it means. They say, there's so many AI tools, I feel so far behind, right? The negative language and framing that comes from the dissenters is disgusting, right? It is the opposite of self-creation. They want to tell you every reason why they can't do it. And it's irrelevant to me, and it's actually great for my business. You know why? Because we're going to place our bets where we want to. I'm placing my bets on this, and we're going to see who wins. If you don't use it, no skin off my back. Keep sitting there on Mount Pius saying how this is not the thing for you, and this isn't going to work. I'm going to be here leading from my heart, making the world a better place, helping millions of people. And I'm going to do this and bring every dream and vision I have to life.
Right on. Well, two pieces to echo from that. And then I got a question. One is, argue for your limitations and they shall be yours. And right, going back to you've spoken about growth mindset and Carol Dweck, right? If we are not learning, we're not growing, we're not earning, we're falling behind. We're getting older too, right? So it's phenomenal to me how many people just don't prioritize learning, as you spoke about. Okay, so go ahead. Do you want to say something?
Can't teach a new dog, or can't teach an old dog new tricks. And I'm like, irrelevant for me. Legitimately, at the end of my life, whenever that is, sometime after I'm 150 plus years old, I can guarantee you I will be reading a book and learning on that very last day.
Hallelujah.
You either have it or you don't.
I'm with you. And as an amateur dog trainer, I can confirm that you can teach a dog of any age new tricks. Yeah. So, right, you touched on this, but one of the big concerns, fears, worries, obstacles that people put up is, AI is, it's all artificial and it's not real. And it's, I'm going to lose my heart and my authenticity. What do you say to that?
Throw it in the trash. Legitimately. So I love to use that language with my clients specifically because it's very shocking. There's not very many people in your life who are like, hey, take that perspective in that language that you just shared and throw it in the trash, because it is just a chosen perspective. So I choose to see that AI is an opportunity. And once again, I'm not romantic about this stuff. I roll in there and I see this strictly from a business growth lens. ChatGPT to me is no different than Canva, Hootsuite or Sprout Social for social media scheduling, Instagram, whatever you want it to be. It's just a tool. It just so happens it's the number one tool that I use all day, every day, nonstop because of what it can create for me in my life. And if you can be open to that perspective, then your lens is different. So I remember early on in the beginning of ChatGPT, the dissenters, they would come out with their pitchforks and they would be like, see, this thing doesn't work. It told me George Washington went to the moon. Gotcha. This thing is trash. Never use it. And I look at that and I'm like, completely irrelevant to me because I'm looking to turn $1 into $1.50. How do I use this for business growth? Marketing strategy, my ability to take ideas and yes, and them and have that create more clarity in everything that I want in my life. So many of these things become circular and you're probably going to hear the same messages over and over again because they are true, that you will get what you want to create out of this. And if you do not yet see the perspective that AI is your co-pilot, your assistant, your creative partner, I didn't say I'm outsourcing my entire life to AI. No, human first. Rob is the leader. ChatGPT is my employee. And remember what I'm about to say because it'll change the next 10 years of your business. I want you to talk to ChatGPT like it's an employee. Huh? Because think about this. As a leader, so imagine you're sitting right here and there's an employee right next to you. You're not just going to say, create me a marketing strategy, because then they would look at you and be like, well, for what platform, for what area of our business? But how is it that everybody's using ChatGPT? Super vague, no context, no instructions. Or we'll go on the other side of things. Hey, ChatGPT, write me an entire book on spirituality. Oh my God, this thing didn't write it very well in 1 minute. How dare this thing not write an entire book in 12 seconds for me? This thing is trash. And I'm like, would you tell an employee to write an entire book for you in 1 minute? No. You might say, hey, employee, let's start by writing, what is the theme of this book about? Now let's create the title. Now let's outline the 12 chapters. Now let's create the 5 bullet points underneath each one. And people so often, and we always say marketers ruin everything because they'll just say, I can create a blog post in ChatGPT, copy, paste, insert onto LinkedIn, but you sound like a robot and there's no heart and soul into this, right? Remember, systems scale. So if you have a heart-based system, a human-first system for how you're using AI, this is an extension of who you are. And there's a concept that I created that'll change the way that you use ChatGPT forever. I call it, and this is right up your, Daniel, you're gonna love this. I call it soul data, S-O-U-L, because there is one thing AI does not have, soul. It does not have soul inside of it. So it can build you a rocket ship to the moon, but it does not have the same essence, the same heart, the same soul of each of us. But that doesn't mean we can't give it ours. So in leveraging ChatGPT, there's that memory feature. There's that custom instructions feature where it will remember certain things that you trained it on. Do you think it would be valuable for us to train ChatGPT on our I am declarations? I am infinite love. I am a force of attraction. I'm abundantly generous and I am a giver. You're like, wow, man, Rob, you're putting that in there. And then imagine putting in your 2025 goals that you wrote down. Oh, but wait, Rob, I've never written my goals down before. All in the boat, right? Data. So we give it our identity, our declarations, our vision, my 2025 goals, my 2026 3-year vivid vision, and then our values. Well, let's put our 8 core values that are foundational to who we are. What are you talking about, Rob? I've never written down my core values. See, it's like there's a difference here. There's levels to this game. There are those of us who have written down our soul data, the essence of who we are, because systems scale. From your morning routine to your evening routine to your shower routine, the more AI understands who you are, how you think, the essence of your heart, the more it'll be reflective in what you create. So everybody can use the out-of-the-box version and you're going to get out-of-the-box results. Or you can put in your soul data and you can legitimately coach yourself by what ChatGPT creates.
Beautiful. You're right. I do love it. Yeah. And I'm doing a lot of that. And you gave me some ideas for more ways I can do it. And I love what you said about treat your AI like an employee. And one of the things I'm playing with these days is and I think this is a challenge that a lot of people, not a challenge, they're missing an opportunity. A lot of people just command AI, right? And it doesn't matter. So one of the things I practice, because it helps me to be who I want to be, is I say please, I say thank you, I ask it questions rather than tell it. I mean, sometimes I just say, do this, put that out. But it's a way for me also to practice who I am in the world as it is the same with when I interact with people. Yeah.
You nailed it. Practice who I am in the world. If you're rolling in with fear, judgment, self-limiting beliefs, you're practicing who you are in the world, right? Let's not be romantic about it. What's going to help you accomplish your goals faster? Maybe this perspective and this opportunity.
I'm starting to get the feeling that you don't like romance, Rob.
I love romance. Are you kidding me? I could write an entire romance novel in 4 seconds using ChatGPT. No. I use the term not romantic all the time. And this is only because of AI. Because people are so emotional about this. It's like, how dare you use this or don't use this some way? I can see you wrote this with ChatGPT. How dare there be a dash in what you're doing? See, we got you, AI police. You used this. You're not real. And I'm like, y'all are tripping. Why are you so romantic about this? This is a tool for productivity and growth and creativity, right? So drop the romance and see, how does this help you accomplish your goals faster? Use it in a way that serves you. What doesn't, discard. It's not hard, but we get so huffy about it. It's like somehow because I'm sharing that I don't use ChatGPT, I'm super cool on Facebook. Sure, if that's the lens that you want, but go and have fun talking on Facebook or on podcasts about how you don't use ChatGPT.
Yep. You get to create what you want. Okay. So Rob, time is flying along here for us. And I believe you have a gift for our audience. Is that true?
100%. So I'm a go-giver. I truly want to be a champion for you in helping you stay ahead of the curve with AI and ChatGPT. So what I want to do is give you a gift. You can go to unlimitedailab.com. And what you're going to find there is 2 things. Number 1, a free course called 5 Days to ChatGPT Confidence. So what we did is reverse engineered. You're sitting there at 0, you're a beginner, or maybe you've been using ChatGPT, but you've never had formal training on this, or you've never taken training from someone like me who is world-class at what I do, and saying, hey, what is that framework for how you can consistently leverage ChatGPT the way that you think about it, the way that you create it? Because there's a quote that I love from Ed Milet: the bigger the dreams, the deeper the foundation. I want to help you build that AI and ChatGPT foundation right out of the gate. That way you can do more of what you love to do and stay in your zone of genius. So go to unlimitedailab.com. And then number 2, what I know is that most people do not have an AI or a ChatGPT coach. They do not have a community for AI because this is brand new. They look around and they're like, I don't know anybody who does this. And I'm speaking from my own experience. I look around and I'm like, I don't know anybody who does what I do. So we created an AI community for entrepreneurs and creators that can help you stay ahead of the curve. So instead of trying to stress about what's coming up next and how do I use this, you've got a bunch of people who are all rowing the boat in the same direction saying, hey, let's use AI in a human-first capacity to build our businesses. We're going to share around that. We're going to actively co-create, and we're going to do so from our hearts. This is my gift to you. go to unlimitedAIlab.com. This will truly change your life.
I love it. That's beautiful. That's a generous gift. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for offering it. And that brings us, sadly enough, to my last question. It's the big question, the final question. It's so big there, it's impossible. There's no way you could do this. However, the impossible makes it easy because you can't fail either. So is it okay if I ask you the big question?
Of course.
Right. You've got so much experience. You've learned so many things in your life, so much to share. If you had to boil it down, distill it to one thing to share with our audience to help them create their most vibrant, thriving life, what would be that one thing?
It's only one word: heart. All in with your heart, right? I want you to let your heart shine, because with your heart, you're connected to love. And when you're connected to love, you're connected to the source of all creation, and everything is possible. And anytime you are feeling fear, judgment, self-limiting belief, you're really feeling an absence of love. If you're feeling an absence of love, you're not connected to your heart. So the one thing is, I would love for you to create from your heart, with AI, with your self-development, with your mindset, with the building of your brand. When you create from your heart, you will win.
So cool. 100% with you. Beautifully spoken. Rob, we are about at the end of this time together. Thank you not only for your generous, cool, fresh way of sharing all this with us, for spending this time, but also for all the work you've done, for being so true to what you share and what you teach. So thank you so much for being here with us.
You're welcome.
Awesome. All right. And for y'all in our audience, thank you. For 𝐒𝐲𝐶, I am so grateful that y'all have been with us for this time. And remember the questions I asked you at the beginning, right? Who are you being and what are you doing to create your most vibrant, thriving life? Now, Rob shared 482 gold gems. Please take one of those and inspire that to go deeper into those questions and make your life a masterpiece. Y'all, I love you. Thank you for being here. See you soon. Aloha. Mahalo for tuning in to the Art of Vibrant Living show, y'all. I'm Daniel Aaron, and may you live with great vibrancy.